One thing I've noticed about Azure Standard is that it changes how you think about your home. Instead of running out for one thing at a time, you start thinking about abundance. A well-stocked pantry, a thriving garden, meals shared with family. It's a different approach to living. Explore what Azure Standard has to offer at azurestandard.com and shop this month's Waves of Abundance deals. Azure Standard, family owned and operated. Shop today at azurestandard.com.
Okie dokie.
The following is a delayed podcast studio production. All right, welcome back to Gilmore Geeks. This is episode 10 of our basically little upstart podcast show. We've made it through 10 episodes. That's an accomplishment. My name is Aaron.
I'm Vicki.
And Silvana.
All right. So today's episode, we off mic, I shot down any connectivity to this episode for the opening question because most of the opening questions would have taken us down a path of like, wow, this is
Dark.
a great conversation for a Sunday afternoon where we're recording this. So let's maybe not and say we did. So yeah, we'll not do that. So the opener was the question that we were going to ask was favorite Christmas tradition or favorite Christmas treat or whatever you want to call it. So I will turn to Silvana or Vicki to open this one up.
Well, when I was a kid, for Christmas Eve for a really long time, my mom would make fondue, and I loved it. It was super good.
That's cool.
We do a cheese fondue, and then switch to meat, and then finish it with like chocolate for like fruits and stuff. So that was definitely my favorite.
Okay, I like it. Vicki?
So the way I feel about peppermint is the way that I feel like a lot of women feel about pumpkin spice.
Oh, fair.
So at Christmas, I'm like, yes, I mean, indulge all my peppermint love. So like peppermint white mochas, and they don't have to be from Starbucks. They pretty much have a version at any coffee shop you find. Peppermint patties, which I eat year round, but I also have found a recipe for peppermint cookies. That's like for me like a must of Christmas. And you can't buy them; you have to make them, or find someone who can make them for you.
Make it happen.
I like a Christmas tradition in the past in my house was the reading of the Christmas story by like verse by verse. We haven't really done that in the past here. And it's as you get older, it sometimes can feel like rehearsed. It can feel like you're just kind of like doing it to do it, and that it kind of faded, I think, in my house, and even we haven't done here. A Christmas tradition, like we'll watch Muppets Christmas Carol.
Yeah, you like doing that, and I do too.
We might drop some Lord of the Rings rewatches, stuff like that.
We should do that.
Love that.
Yeah.
I think for Christmas treats,
This would be good for me to know.
I'm trying to think about that for a second.
So question.
Yeah.
I do make something with you in mind. I do these M&M bars.
Yeah.
Because you like M&Ms.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's like your treat, but that's just a thought.
I think because I'm more here's the thing, and this is going to be either weird or strange or whatever for people out there, for you guys. I more associate treats with Thanksgiving, like pecan pie, those kinds of things. Like Thanksgiving is more of the food holiday for me. As I was thinking through my response and what I would say to this, I was like, that's an interesting concept, because Christmas is more about getting together, playing games, going on walks, like doing community-oriented things with your family, versus Thanksgiving is just like, let's have a big old meal, let's have amazing food that we don't usually have all year.
True.
And that's what makes Thanksgiving special. Christmas is special, I think, just because of the gathering point and the chance to kind of rest, relax, and refuel for the new year.
And the peppermint.
And yeah, that's okay. I think part of my revolt, I don't want to say revulsion, but my hesitancy with Christmas is when I worked at Starbucks for 5 years, Christmas drinks. Peppermint lattes, peppermint mochas, peppermint frappuccinos. There was so, and I think that might be part of it, is I've worked in the service industry.
You're all pepperminted out.
I've worked in the service industry, not just at Starbucks, but other service industries where Christmas was it just felt like a lot. And I think that's part of why I'm just kind of like, I don't really want to, Christmas is not my food holiday.
Yeah.
Fair.
Thanksgiving is. So there you go.
I forgot to add growing up, because grew up in Georgia, so Christmas was not cold. So peppermint ice cream was a thing we did.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really work here.
Okay.
Because
No.
although we're supposed to be in Phoenix this Christmas, so I might be like, hey, peppermint ice cream.
Yeah, we'll see. All right. Well, there you go. There's our Christmas in August conversation. Sometimes it's Christmas in July.
That's
but
102 degrees.
This
We need
time
help.
It's Christmas in August. All right. We'll be right back with episode 10 of the Gilmore Geeks. Also, appropriately, episode 10 of season 1 of the Gilmore Girls. Coming right back to you after this. All right, welcome back to Gilmore Geeks. My name is Aaron.
My name's Vicki.
And Silvana.
All right. So the episode, appropriately, is titled "Forgiveness and Stuff." I like that title.
It's very you,
it's
actually.
It's kind of just like forgiveness and then the rest of this thing. I guess here we go. Let's do we'll do the macro and the micro. I think macro is what we're looking at. So the overall view of this episode is this is one of the foundational Gilmore Girls episodes. Mm-hmm. This is a turning point in the show. 10 episodes in, and we have our first possible character death. Yeah, TV shows do this, and more recently than in the past. But in the past, they did it too. Like it'd be like, on tonight's ER, Mark Green is in the middle of a snowstorm. What will happen to him? Like they would tease these possible doom and gloom situations with characters, and shows were notorious for putting their characters, like their main characters, through hell to the point where like. I watched an interview with Courtney Thorne-Smith from Melrose Place back in the day, and she talked about all the things that her character on Melrose Place had gone through, and she was like, "It's time to close out the series." Like it was the series finale. She was on Conan O'Brien to talk about, and she was just like, "My character's gotten happened to this. This has happened. This has happened. This has happened. This has happened," and it was just like shows did that. They did that to their characters. Now Gilmore Girls obviously is less inclined to threaten their characters' existence.
It's less like a soap opera.
Yeah, but there were shows. ER was included in that. Star Trek, all of the regular shows in the late '90s, early 2000s, they had like possibility that there was something bad was going to happen to the character. Walking Dead took it to the extreme and then killed characters that we really loved.
That shows.
And it ruined everything.
So here's the thing: we can go off on a Walking Dead tangent for a second. That show was solid for the first couple of seasons,
Right.
And then it became a game.
Yeah, it was just too much.
Well, and story-wise, and Silvana, I don't know if you watched it to the full conclusion.
I watched it until they killed Glenn, and then I was like, I'm good.
Yeah, that's kind of where I got.
And they teased his death like once or twice in the series as they tried to and they did it in a way that was like, ha ha ha, he's gonna live. And then when he finally bit it, I was like, what? Like, no. Mm-hmm. And it became almost like a trope of that show. I think they killed Beth, and that was a horrifying end for her character.
Yeah.
And like all these characters.
By the way, fun fact: we've seen the actress who plays Beth live do music live here in Fort Morgan.
Yeah, she has.
That's cool.
I lost my mind when I found out about it, and I was like, Aaron, we have to go.
Yep, she was, and she was
great.
She was nice and sounded great, had good musical talent.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, and I think The Walking Dead. So I watched all The Walking Dead, and then I watched Fear the Walking Dead, which again started out great, and then
was that the one that was in California?
Yeah, it was Los Angeles, and it starts with the zombie apocalypse as it
unfolds. Yeah.
Well, no, it doesn't. It starts with them living their life, and then all hell breaks loose. And there were certain moments in that show where it was just like, this is. What are you doing? And characters who had died came back because the showrunners realized they couldn't. The show was going to be, nobody would watch the show without those characters. And okay, this is a bit of a rant, so just buckle up for a second.
It's time for rants with Aaron.
it's anger management with Aaron. There you go. It's your anger management sessions with Aaron. Is show runners, and like these shows are not like run on like 2 or 3 people. There's an entire staff that runs these shows: writers, producers, directors, and there's people involved in this. At no point did they go, well, maybe like I think it was Night City was another episode where they had another series where they had Glenn's wife was the star of that show with Negan and her journey with him and how they got paired up, and that actually worked. But there was a moment where like the major antagonist for the show died and was like supposed to be burned to death, and that was the end. And I was like, well, that was kind of really, it didn't happen on screen. It kind of just happened off to the side, and it was like, okay, they're dead now. And then in true Walking Dead fashion, the show kind of cratered after that. And so within like a couple of episodes, guess who's back? That character that we killed, that we told you had burned to death and was on fire, and here she is fine. And it was just like, that's it. I'm done. I'm not watching this show no more.
That starts to feel like a soap opera to me.
Well, it's not even just
far-fetched,
It stretches credulity.
Yeah,
it really,
exactly.
And it's to a point where it's like, okay, look, I'm all for like checking my brain at the door, letting kind of logic go out the window sometimes with shows, but and it's happening a lot with shows in the modern age, and there's just, I don't know, it's frustrating. So with with Gilmore Girls, I at least know that no one's gonna die. There's not gonna be a tornado. It's not like the possible deaths and destructions are gentle. Silvana, do you have any examples of shows that have kind of turned you off because of what they did to their characters or how they treated their characters? I mean, Walking Dead is clearly one of them. So I mean, it feels like
totally.
Walking Dead is a big part of that. The whole Walking Dead genre has not been solid.
Actually, it's like a show I've been watching recently and I've really loved.
Yeah.
And it's controversial.
Okay.
So the Interview with the Vampire show.
Oh, the new one.
Yes, I really liked what they did with the first season.
Yeah.
I really liked what they did with the second season.
Yep.
But if you've read the books,
Yep.
Lestat's mom is very like trans mask, cold, hands off.
Yeah.
The show made her very not that.
Oh god.
In the most
Oh, no.
like it's like inappropriate. I cannot get into it, but
Yeah.
it's the best example of this. And
Wow.
almost ruined the season for me. The way they did this character dirty. They didn't
Jeez.
kill her, but they changed her so dramatically.
She was
that
unrecognizable.
it was like, oh yeah, it was not the same character.
Wow. That's
And
wild.
oh yeah, I'm really struggling because like Queen of the Damned is going to be the next season, and
Yeah.
I've read that book as well. But I'm so frustrated
Yeah.
with what they've done to some of the characters, and I'm like, oh, do I watch it and slog through, or do I hope that they don't make it weird? I don't know.
Or you can do what I
So-
did and cheat. You go on Wikipedia and you read the plot, and that way you know what happens and you don't have to watch it.
Well, that's the problem.
yeah.
I've read the book. I know the plot, but they have
Mm,
changed
right.
so much. And originally, I really liked a lot of the changes they made because
Yeah.
there was some stuff that made me uncomfortable that they changed.
Sure.
But now the change is like so overwhelming that it really like outshone some of the more like interesting and emotional scenes. I was kind of stuck because I couldn't get over the way they changed his mom.
Yeah.
So
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I was watching a video. There's the live action version of The Last Airbender, and that's been full of people have been very upset with how that's played out.
the old one or the
new
TV
one,
show?
the new TV show
Okay.
that's on Netflix, which
Okay.
we could get into it about how Netflix has taken like good standing IPs and completely trashed them. But this video I was watching, I got halfway through, but it talked a lot about like it's season 3 now. Drew Gooden is actually the guy that he's like a YouTuber with millions of views. If you have a chance, go check him out. We have no connection to Drew Gooden, but he talks about like he like a lot of what he watches in season 3 is just summary. It's like a Wikipedia entry of the action. There's no actual action on like the characters being like, hey, look at this, hey, look at that, hey, look at not instead of showing it, they're just telling the audience what's happening. And for a show like that, he makes a qualification. I think it's important we do this too. He makes a qualification. Like there are probably 100+ people on the show, from set designers, all the people who work on the show, create all the equipment, create all the scene. Like, those people do good work. It's when you get your writers and your directors in the seats and they're absolutely foolish and borderline idiotic, you get junk. You get shows that you go, this is, you spent money on this? This got approved? This went through the layers? And I think that's part of the struggle of a lot of television and even like movies is, and why Gilmore Girls, which we'll get to back in a second, is so, like, we spend an hour on each episode minimum just talking and enjoying about what we see. And in this episode, there is some, like, I have some moments where I'm just like, oh my goodness, this is what TV is supposed to be like. I'll bring one more comparison in before we launch back into the episode. So there's a show on Netflix called Lock and Key. It's an interesting premise. The idea is there's a house and there's a bunch of keys that can do amazing things, right? Magical things. And the family's name is Locke. Oh, interesting. So the show opens and you begin to get a sense of things. But here's the problem. It's produced by Netflix, so that's your first issue. But it's not compelling enough. So there's a child actor who's the main boy on the show, and then he has his brother and his sister. They're not compelling. Like, you've watched me watch it. You watched me just fast forward.
I was wondering about that, but I thought you were just fast forwarding through the violent parts.
Because here's the I'll fast forward through violent parts because I just don't like them. But I will stick with the show if it's compelling. But as I'm watching this show, and I think I got to season 2. Season 1 was kind of like I gave up halfway through. Then I was like, okay, I got to slog through. There's 3 seasons. Let's do this. I got through season 1. I was like, okay, whatever. Interesting premise. Good character building. You got a big bad. I like the big bad. Interesting. And then season 2 starts, and it just the issues with the acting and how it feels and looks, it doesn't have weight. I just sit there and I go, your acting is not compelling. You're just a kid. Like, you're not and I get it. Like, okay, well, you're just a kid. Yeah, but here's the thing. That kid's acting and his speech and how you frame him and how the action is, like, I should be compelled and interested to want to watch what happens to this kid. But for the most of season 1 and a good portion of season 2, kid's an idiot. Like, he's a dumb kid, and yeah, he's young, but it's like there's no progression until later in the show, and he finally goes, oh, by the way, there's all these things that are happening, and his brothers and sisters are like, dude, what? And yeah, so it's, and then
I saw that part, and I've watched enough snippets of the show to be like, you're telling him this now?
And I know it's meant to try and like get you upset and get you like, oh, this kid, but it's done in a way that is not competent to me.
Yeah, he doesn't. It's not like, hey, there's something I needed to tell you, like a guilty-looking kid.
Right. It was just like, oh, this happened and this happened.
It's like, oh, I forgot to tell you this very important detail.
Right.
For the past 6 months or however long.
There's no emotional, facial.
Yeah.
Somebody calls it the Millie Bobby Brown effect. There's a lot of videos out there talking about how Millie Bobby Brown only has one expression in her movies. And she doesn't, and it's somewhat her fault, but it's also how she's been taught and the show she's been in. She's not been taught to have expressive, and this is not just her, it's across the board. There are child actors and teenage actors and young adult actors now who you're like, okay, what are you feeling right now? And in this show, the little boy and his brother are both equally like inexpressive, like, and it takes time for them to gain it. The girl who is the actress who's the sister, she at least has some that I'm like, ooh, interesting. This is fun.
I was gonna say she seems pretty.
Yeah, she seems solid. Like, I'm like, okay, but then there's other characters where you're just like, okay, I get it, I understand what we're trying to do here, but you gotta give me something. And I don't think a lot of shows right now do that because there's just. I fast forwarded through almost an entire episode looking for something to happen that was big, but it didn't feel big. It was just like, okay, I know what's going on. Okay, you've played this out for me. Okay, let's get. And now it's just become a situation where I'm just like, I just want to know what happens. I don't want to cheat. Yet I want to see if I can get through season 2, and then season 3 is still to be watched.
Hey, it's less misery for you.
Oh, what's your sense of adventure and misery?
This has been Rants with Aaron.
Anyway, okay, back to the opening of Gilmore Girls, episode 10, Forgiveness. It's a solid episode. I think we're all going to find this. We're all going to rate this one high.
It made me laugh, and it made me cry.
It is,
and that's usually a solid 10 for me when that happens.
It's good television.
No,
so, Silvana, I bring up ER a lot. ER as a show, from start to finish, with a couple of exceptions, was an incredibly well-written, portrayed, acted, and produced show. You felt things watching ER. You felt things with these random characters, and sometimes they were special guests, but you felt it because they did the work in writing the scenes and setting stuff up. This episode, from start to finish, it sets the table and it cleans up in the end. It is every element works, and that, again, good writing, which we are having there's an absence of, and part of, I think, Drew Gooden's commentary in his video, you should go watch it, it's fantastic, I haven't gone all the way through it, is that there is a dearth of good writing in writers' rooms right now. And we've talked about this on the show, but Drew Gooden, who's a big-time YouTuber and is watching a lot and does a lot of media commentary, is calling it out, and a lot of people have, because so Supergirl, which I have not seen, but I have watched enough reviews, and I read the original comic that it was based on, which was brilliant. James Gunn... Oh, James Gunn, you sweet summer child. Before the movie came out, when it was being done or it was being produced, it was getting close to things like, this is the best script I've ever read. And then people watched the movie and were like, I'm sorry, what? That was the best? That was the best you've ever read? No. And the girl who wrote it, the young lady who wrote it, the young woman who wrote it, had not had a lot of experience. She had like 1 or 2 writing credits to her name before she got handed Supergirl. And I'm like, Are there no writers in all of Hollywood who could have done a good treatment on Supergirl? But here's the thing: it's James Gunn presents James Gunn's Supergirl, and so that there would have been no way for his fingerprints to be all over the dang thing. Anyway, not enough about the bad stuff. Let's talk about the good stuff. So the baby Jesus is missing an arm.
Taylor is killing me.
Oh, he's.
The look at it and like, we've used it since 1965. Were you alive? And I was like, oh my gosh. I know people like this, Silvana.
Oh, 100%.
It's like, stop.
For it. I had a man at work yell at me, and he was like, I've been doing this for longer than you've been alive. And my response was, congrats on being old.
Congrats on owning a calendar, sir. You know when things start, and hopefully you maybe don't know when they end, because they could end tomorrow for you. That would be the petty thing to be like, well, let me tell you, I've had a vision. I've had a vision of your doom.
Pull a Claire from Outlander. I know the day and hour in which you die.
Right. But this is why I say that the gray hair I do have is my credibility.
Yeah.
There you go.
I've earned every strand.
Yep. So then we get the lovely discovery that they have a before Mary and an after Mary.
And they're both about to be after Mary.
It's actually kind of smart.
She's like, who else in town? Miss Patty asks, who else in town is knocked up? Like,
and
what?
Lorelai kind of looks at Rory from the side like,
what is
nothing happened, Lorelai.
What is up with the Stars Hollow, the mythos of Stars Hollow, or as the kids would say, the history, or the
lore.
The lore.
Yes.
I hate that word so much. I would choose mythology because whatever, or the history of Stars Hollow has got to be fascinating. And here's the thing: what I just didn't realize until we just talked about it is this is a direct connection to what you were saying. This is a direct connection to Lorelai.
Yes.
And her pregnancy of the before and after.
Yeah.
And so there's a little bit of like a ha-ha. Lorelai has to deal with that in the middle of every year of the play. Someone has to be pregnant, and then someone has to have a baby, and that just made me chuckle in my head. Tension between mom and daughter, Lorelai and Rory, is intense here.
Oh.
It's rough. But they don't lean as heavily into it as I thought, and that's okay. It's surface level. It gets a lot worse, obviously. And then we have the dog with the...
That was a little... I was like, is this Fallout or Walking Dead? It was just a little...
I don't remember whose dog that is, if it's even named in the show. I don't even know, but he exists. He's out there. Okay. Now the credits, and Blaine has returned, my favorite character next to Emily Gilmore. Blaine is back. Did you guys catch the line where Rory says, it's very miracle worker in my house?
Oh, I had to look that up because I was like, what is that? Okay, Silvana.
What is miracle worker?
It's a show about Helen Keller.
Yep.
What?
Learning to talk.
And being able to hear or not, and being deaf and blind.
I can't even.
So in the bigger podcast that has come before us, the Gilmore guys, they do a pop culture reference for each episode, and they play it, and then whatever they don't understand, because when they did that show, they were very young. They have to be like, I had to research that, and I love how you had to research that. I, of course, because I read everything and study everything because I know too much, I know exactly what that was about. I was like, oh, what a reference that is. And I was very curious to see, because I didn't ask you before, and I was like, I wonder if Silvana or Vicki know that reference.
Hey, I looked it up, though.
She did. I didn't. I just kind of went like, weird. Okay.
Well, and here's a fun
I started to do that, and then I was like, no, I need to know.
There's an unfortunate bittersweet post note to Helen Keller and that movie and the story, The Miracle Worker. There is considerable suspicion that Helen Keller did not write all that she is credited for. There is some suspicion that her caregiver, who was with her for most of her life, amplified and accentuated her work to the point that there is considerable suspicion and mounting evidence that while Helen Keller probably was able to put stuff into words, the content with which we consume now related to Helen Keller is in question, because it may be plagiarism from her carers, because her carer was a writer and all this stuff. It's it's not settled.
I don't want to Google it. It's sad.
It's not settled, but I mean, Helen Keller lived a wonderful life. Like, she lived a long life. She was not mistreated. She was well cared for. Like, she wasn't abused. That's not the story here. The story is that her carer, who lived with her for most of her life before she died, was probably a considerable influence on her work, because the person who took over after that person died, Helen Keller's work did drop a little bit and wasn't as good as it had been before. So again, this is an age before computers and an age before we actually talked about journalistic integrity and author integrity in the times before, whereas today it will end your career with a snap of a finger.
No kidding.
So that was that. Yeah, that's that's the really dark humor that the husband and wife writer team for this thing really do well. So, and then she got Dean a book, Metamorphosis, which again is another reference. Do either of you know the Metamorphosis reference? I'm sure Vicki.
I mean,
Silvana
I know the Ovid Metamorphosis, but like I don't know the Czechoslovakian Metamorphosis.
Well, so that's what she was saying. So Metamorphosis is the story of a man who turns into something else, I believe. So I mean, you can help me out with the Silvana a little bit. Metamorphosis is a man. Does he turn into a bug, or what does he turn into in Metamorphosis?
A butterfly, moth. That's where my brain goes.
Oh, dude, I don't know. I never read that. Again, I read the Greek Metamorphosis with Ovid, but I never read this one.
Okay, well, here we go. Let's look it up on Wikipedia. The poem chronicles the history of the world from its creation to the deification of Julius Caesar. Okay, so it's not what I thought it was. Metamorphosis, I was thinking of like he turns into something, but it's by Ovid. It's one of the oldest published works in the world. But the fact that
it's just like stories of the Greek gods.
Yeah, and it's dense. It's on my shelf at school. I had it as a part of my literature studies. I freely admit I didn't read the whole thing. I read sections, but it's dense. It's not for some like little kid to pick up and go.
I'm staring at my copy, and it is chunky.
Yeah, it's a chunky one. So she got him, and so Lane is. I feel like Lane's analyzing too much. She's like, Dean won't like that. He's just a boy, and I'm just like,
I agree. I'm like, Lane.
But here's the thing. So this is where I diverge, and the Dean that we should have gotten and we should have kept and held on to is not the Dean we get, obviously. Dean was interested in books. He was the book nerd with her. Like, he was giving her compliments, and they were going back and forth about books early in the show, in this very season. And now
give him a book.
Now it's like, I'm not gonna, it's dumb. Why are you giving it? And Lane should know that Dean is a book nerd and be like, yeah, that's a great book, but we got a conflict, so conflict's got a conflict. Whatever. But I love how the Czechoslovakian football is the line that ends on.
Even.
I'm just like, I don't even know what that looks like, but I'm sure it's fine. And then my other favorite character,
Michelle is back.
Such a minor thing, but he really does just a nice job.
He does. And
I just love that he wants little Bo Peep to stay on the tree.
Yeah. Are you gonna?
I was like, there's a story there.
Are you going to give me a clue? No.
And do you want me to move it? No.
Erin,
no,
you were right. The Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka is a man turning into
okay.
Yeah, it's not Ovid. It's Kafka, and it is a man turning into like a cockroach.
Yeah, okay. I knew it was in there somewhere. I just couldn't remember where.
That's horrible.
Yeah, well, it's literature, man. It's a weird, wonderful world of things that have been written.
I would kill me if that ever happens.
It's a classic.
If I turn into a cockroach, I don't want to live my rest of my life that way.
I was gonna say somebody step on me at that point.
Yeah.
Kill me fast.
All right, so moving on from cockroaches, Michelle and his decorations, and then Lorelai and Emily are at it again.
But this is a tough call to listen to.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
It is.
uninvites her from Christmas dinner,
Yep.
and you could tell Lorelai is hurt.
Yeah.
She's shocked.
Yeah, because she's like, wait, I was on death's door, and I still had
And I
to
went.
attend. Like, you still made me. Like, what is happening? But you can tell towards the end of this conversation, Emily actually gets some emotion in her voice.
She's kind of done.
She's
She's
hurt.
like, I'm done.
Well, she's hurt. And now, they're all Rory, Lorelai, and Emily Gilmore situation is a triple threat of stupidity and just
For sure.
needing to accept that you need to forgive and work through this. But
Talk.
none of these three
Come
women,
on.
none of these three women have that capacity or that understanding right now. They're just a hot mess, all three of them.
Rory's probably trying the best out of the three of them, but she's not trying for herself. She's trying to go in for her mom.
Right.
Which is not her place.
No. So Emily is hurt, and then Michelle is back again. And then, yeah, Rory is off. So this whole conversation at the house between Rory and Lorelai is,
Dumb.
again, it's Lorelai's the quip queen, right? She's got a quippy, she's got the comebacks, but that's her defense mechanism. Her sarcasm is her shield, which unfortunately makes it worse because it's like, why are we what is going on?
She's
man?
being really immature. She's acting like a child.
Yep, she is.
Just let me pout.
And Rory calls her on it.
yeah, it's good.
And it's interesting that, again, we've talked about how Rory is often the parent as we continue through the series right now. And Rory calls her immature. You're being real immature, Mom. Like, get over yourself. And again, Lorelai isn't in a place where she can go, yeah, you're right. I need to woman up, and I need to go deal with my mother. But here's the other thing, and I forgot about this with the Christmas dinner. In my head, I'm like, well, just get over yourself, girl. Go to the Christmas dinner. I forgot Christmas dinner has a whole bunch of other people at it, and so Lorelai's like, oh, I don't want to deal with that, and show up, and I'm not invited, and I'm gonna be, and Mom's gonna lose it.
Yeah.
And so yeah,
They're witnesses.
yeah, witnesses to whatever crime that Emily Gilmore or Lorelai Gilmore do to each other. There's your unsolved mysteries arc. Lorelai shows up, the house is dark, and Emily Gilmore's in the corner with a knife going, "Come to me, my daughter." There you go. There's the dark. There's
Wow.
there's the darker side of things.
I was gonna say that's dark.
I still need to get my
For a
unsolved
video of
mystery.
Aaron shaking his fist like he's holding a butter knife.
Yeah,
That's kind of what I pictured in my head.
I need to get the unsolved
Emily
mysteries
with a
theme
butter knife.
pulled up and like rock and rolling here. Here we go. Here's your unsolved mysteries theme.
Come here to me, Lorelai.
In a quiet town in Haverford, Connecticut, an angry mother and her daughter
Who couldn't be kept away by icy roads.
fight to finish the family legacy tonight
Christmas sleigh.
on Unsolved Mysteries. Okay, there you go.
Sorry.
Christmas sleigh. I love that.
I stole that from Ernest Saves Christmas, though.
Gilmore Girls.
Still.
There you go.
Still
Oh, I
very
like
good.
that,
Gilmore
too.
Girls.
Good Lord. All right, we need to continue on with the actual show and not
to
our
stay
own
focused.
and not our own alternative fan fiction version of this. Although that would be fun to do and produce.
Oh my gosh.
I would.
Okay, so dinner with Rory at the house. There's a bunch of people there. And I love, so here's what I love about this show, is it doesn't tell you, it shows you.
Yeah.
But it doesn't outright show you what's going to happen. It gives you inches and pieces of the puzzle, but it doesn't give you the full view. And so when she arrives at the house, Rory tries to defend her mother, to Emily, but Emily's not having it.
She's just like, I don't want to talk about this right now, which this is, I can't believe I'm defending Emily moments.
Right.
I find myself getting like that sometimes when I'm like, if I get into this now, I'm going to get upset. And I don't have time to get upset right now.
Right.
Let's talk about this later.
Yeah. So Emily is basically kind of just shutting, and you can see throughout this scene, Rory is slowly losing it. Now, again, Alexis Bledel has been accused in the past of having a similar problem like Millie Bobby Brown, where she can't act her way out of a paper bag. I would argue with this episode and more to come, Alexis Bledel acts her butt off in this episode.
I agree.
Especially at the dinner table, because she's the tension and the look in her eyes and look on her
As
face.
she sees the lies coming and the controversies.
She's losing it because she's going to have to witness all of this go down, and she just wants to get out of there. She's like, get me out. But she doesn't say that. We don't. It's not spoken. It's all in her face that we see that. And Silvana, to our point that we talked about earlier, it's all about showing me, not telling me.
Yep.
And I guess why do you think that's become that shows and movies have shifted into more telling versus showing? Why is this phenomenon happening to writers and writers' rooms and movies and shows? Why the shift? What happened to give us more telling than showing.
I think they don't trust the audience to like understand what they're doing anymore.
Yeah.
Like they really trust us to understand the facial expressions and recognize like this is tense, Rory's uncomfortable,
Yeah.
even like Richard's confused why Lorelai's not there. It's it's just like a lack of trust from the writers nowadays. Like they don't think we're gonna catch what they're putting down, you know?
Yeah. Well, I'll have to send. I don't think I've sent you this video. There's a video from a guy who talks about how there was a brouhaha about less than a month ago, from people who were like basically saying authors need to give us simpler words in their writing.
What?
Oh yeah, you
And there
showed
was
me
a
that.
claim that here I'll find it and then I won't play it because I don't want to take his stuff. History. I gotta find it. Did you know that Nicolas Cage is in the John Madden movie? Off topic completely, by the way.
I did not. I haven't watched any of those though.
Well, no, Madden. It's the story about John Madden. It's Nick Cage who's now in
Oh,
everything. Yeah.
weird.
Yeah. Easy words. Let me see if I can find the video real quick. Oh yeah. So this. Oh yeah. Jaden Gelso. No book talk will not use easy words. And then there's another one that I watched. Yeah, so this from Hidden Rabbits is the other YouTube channel, and the title of his video is "Big Words Are Not Ableist," which it is
The fact that that's a sentence is sad.
It is a rocking video that is 17 minutes long, and it's worth every second. I'll forward both of those to you. It is wild. Cool. But I think it is indicative of a lot of why those writing choices are being made, because you have a lot of writers who've grown up in this world of, well, I shouldn't have to read complicated stuff. I shouldn't have to read Ovid. I shouldn't have to read Metamorphosis. I shouldn't have to read this. And it's like, well, that's where you cut your brain. That's where you cut your intellectual prowess and your ability to understand meaning on those tough words. Speaking of tough words, that's not a good transition. So Richard's getting worked up. Now, again, we've seen this episode, so we know what this happens here. But what they do is they show us, but they're not telling us what's going to happen. And so we're just like, why is Richard so worked up? What's going on? What's going on here? And then Emily has the fortitude, the audacity to say, I'm not mad at anyone.
I know. Wild.
What? Liar! Pants are on fire. Call the fire department.
That's like the 2000s versions of "No, I'm fine."
Yeah. It's like, ma'am, you are mad at everyone all the time. Like there is not a moment that you don't have somebody going, I'm Lee Gilmore and I hate them. Yeah, there we go. And then Richard, I think, gets up to go to change the temperature. He's like, it's really warm. It's getting warm in here. And we're all just like, okay, whatever. We're not thinking anything of it because we don't. The first 10 episodes up until now, there hasn't been any threat to any of our characters' safety. They haven't given us any ideas about that.
My only thought was that's kind of a perimenopause or menopausal thing.
Right. And maybe he's, feeling it, whatever. I don't know. And so, yeah, we're not really sure. And then...
He's been kind of worked up.
Yeah. And then, so the next moment, and that's important, I think. I think it's a bit of filler, and Silvana, you can check me and tell me I'm wrong. But the pizza delivery saga that goes on for what feels like a little bit too long.
Oh yeah.
And then when she goes into the salad in the bag for dinner, it feels like a little bit like, okay, this is where we could have trimmed the fat of this episode. This feels like we could have cut the pizza delivery saga a little shorter. Mm-hmm. I guess her desperation that all she's got in her fridge is a bag of salad that she doesn't even put in a bowl. She just opens and pours the ranch in.
Oh, that's so sad. I'm like, girl, you need like protein and fiber. It's just ranch dressing and lettuce.
We're talking about Lorelai Gilmore. She doesn't have any of those things.
I was gonna say I don't know that she has a whole lot of condiments in the.
Yeah,
that's accurate. It's just like that's a sad salad.
These girls run on coffee, sugar, and adrenaline. That's the Gilmore way. So then there's a knock at the window, or a tippy tap at the window, and
stupid Dean.
Yep, stupid
This
Dean.
is dumb.
Dumb
dude.
Dean. Dumb Dean is
and
back.
he knows it as soon as he just cringes.
Yeah, he just looks, and it's just like, oh no.
Get him, Lorelai.
Yeah. So he says, "Oh, things got messed up." I
promise nothing happened.
There's a reference which you two may have missed, where she talks about a guy in a cave. Something about a guy in a cave or something like that. That was an Osama bin Laden reference, in case you're wondering.
Oh my God, I don't know.
Gosh.
Would you settle for top 5 because I'm still a little hot for the crazy bomber guy who's been living in a cave?
That's right.
That's who that's about.
Yep. Because, okay, so history lesson for you. The man is dead, so we got him years ago, so this is not...
Yeah, because I thought I was kind of puzzled with that.
This is not
was
news.
this done around 9/11 then?
After 9/11.
Okay, so it's around the same timeline then.
Right. So...
And we were all like, where's this guy?
Yeah. Osama bin Laden, in the early aughts, was hiding in caves in Pakistan and other places.
Yep.
And so that was the thing, is they were searching for him and they're trying to find him because his network had kept him hidden and everything. So what I love about... So, again, if you want to listen to the details of the pop culture references, the Gilmore Guys podcast episodes are all up. They're all there. I would feel terrible stealing from them and playing them without like some kind of credit, because I don't feel comfortable with that. I may reach out to them and be like, hey dudes, can we just pull it because you guys did a really good job? We'll see if they say anything. Well, if not, if so, we might have a reoccurring session that we could be borrowed from them to help us. Anyway, so what I love about the writers is they put stuff in there that's just like, what? Okay, that was an interesting... The reference to Helen Keller, the reference to Osama bin Laden, like, things that you just go, okay. But again, Silvana, to your point, and to our point, and to everyone's point, this is smart writing. You have to be thinking.
Yes.
You have to be paying attention. And at that time in the late 2000s, early 2000s, it was early 2000s at this point, people would have understood that reference. People would have gotten it. And they would have been like,
100%.
and they'd been like, oh, this is a thinking man show. Thinking woman person's show, I should say, or whatever. Here's my feelings about the situation, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. Dean does everything but say that he needs to change his actions. He apologizes, but he doesn't say, oh, I shouldn't have done that, and here's how I'm going to fix this.
Yeah.
No, he literally just says, I messed up and I'm sorry, but nothing happened.
Yeah.
And frankly, everything, there's that thing where they're like, if you have a statement and then there's a but and a following statement, the but negates everything before it.
Yeah, no, a part of a genuine apology is, I did this was wrong, and here's how I'm not going to do that again. Mm-hmm. Dean fails that epically, and probably that was the intent, because later in the episode, Rory does the thing where she says, it won't happen again. I won't do this again. Mm-hmm. Because she at least is more mature than Dean, and better than the Dean that we've got. The alt universe Dean that we should have gotten. Mm-hmm. Now, he's in another universe. It's the Marvel universe that we like, not the Marvel universe they're giving us. Anyway, that's a topic for another time. I'm just going off on tangents. I'm trying to keep us on track. trying to keep myself on track, I should say.
Yeah, you're
very
struggling
clearly.
a little bit today.
I just got a lot to talk about.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so again, another moment that probably could have been trimmed, but I think they left in because, again, you need filler to get this episode to the end, is the bell ringers.
They're not very good. I was struggling from the beginning. I was like, it's supposed to be the first Noel because I had on subtitles. And then it becomes clear as we keep watching. He's like, hey, like you're supposed to come in on the third count, not the second. I'm like, oh, no. Just use sheet music, people.
You're talking about Stars Hollow. They don't do anything professionally.
My gosh.
It's a string and I don't even know if there's a string attached to it. They just make it up as they go.
Oh, the look of like dazed, almost panic on those guys. Like, just get a music stand as sheet music.
Yeah.
It just hurts.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. It's been musical rants with Vicki.
And then we get to Luke. Luke doesn't like Dean. So I wrote this. Luke doesn't like Dean. I said, Luke's my new favorite person. I share in his hatred of Dean.
I know. He's like, you forgave him?
Are you
How could
crazy?
you do that?
Yeah. But what we also... So this is Luke's episode. In a lot of ways...
Yeah.
So here's the thing. It's not an Emily episode. I'll argue this. It's not an Emily episode. It's a Richard and Luke episode. For the first time in 10 episodes.
It circles around the men.
We've got two guys who are the focus of this episode. Whether or not... Because I realized that as I was watching, I was like, man, they're really leaning heavily into Richard and Luke. And I was like, boom, we got parallel stories going on here. Because we get a bit... And Silvana, you might know the history that I forgot on the Gilmore Girls mythology. Luke's dad obviously is dead, and Luke hates hospitals, obviously because his dad. Silvana, do you remember what, if anything, was revealed about Luke's dad in the show at all that we remember that I'm forgetting? I don't want to look it up. I want to just
God.
experience.
Oh, like they were saying stuff like he
I
had
was
kept
gonna
the
say, I'm, like,
store
about
in
to
a
look it up 'cause
similar
I just
way.
don't remember.
Yeah, there was like his hardware sign that was
So
kept
all,
up.
all
He was
of,
talking to Emily about it.
Yeah, all of Luke's cafe is decorated as if it was his dad's store. That's the first indication we get about Luke's father, which I think we do get a little bit more.
Well, he also talked about him being buried with his musket too.
Yep.
That was from a previous one.
And then in the episode, he also he talks. I think he talks to Emily about like this is what I did. And he's like, "Oh, my father would be very proud." He's like, "No, he'd call me an idiot." So again, I think the complicated relationship that people have with their fathers in this episode specifically, and obviously Luke becomes a father down the road, and all these or father figure in some way. It gets a whole thing. But this show is just slowly unpacking that theory. But again, Richard and Luke's story run parallel, which I think is fascinating. Again, as much as we think this show doesn't treat our male characters well, it'll surprise you episode to episode.
Treats the good ones, right?
Yeah. What I love about Luke is his armchair psychological powers. He just takes Lorelai apart. Just it's this, and the other thing. Okay, good, done. Here's your check. I mean, he doesn't do that.
Though he decorates the burger for her to make it festive. That was so sweet.
It was, though.
It's like it's the most disgustingly sweet thing someone's ever done for me.
So Silvana, to swerve into writer's lane, why is Luke so important? Not just in this episode, but why is he important? As so far as we've gotten into, we know his importance in the rest of the series. We'll get to that as we go. But why is he so important and integral to this show? Like he's just, I don't know.
He reminds me of like the choir in like an old Greek play. You know, they are sometimes kind of that like voice of reason that the audience really gets more access to than the actual characters. And he does that frequently. He provides like a leveling understanding of what's actually happening for these more chaotic characters to like bounce off of.
That's interesting. So I think it's also interesting that as much of a chorus as he is, he's still in the hospital. He ends up just staring at his feet because he can't handle the hospital, but he stays.
Nope.
He stays.
No, it's so cute. Him staring at his feet like a little boy.
He puts up with it, and he manages. But I think it's also interesting that his chorus-like characterization or quality, to what you're alluding to, Silvana, actually, I think, builds or kind of helps what's the word I'm looking for? Helps support or encourage or is like an unconscious kind of support for Lorelai
and Rory.
Well, but specifically Lorelai when she gets to the scene with the doctor, with the nurse, who is it's Jane Lynch, by the way.
Oh, I was losing my mind. I was like,
I loved it so much. Where Lorelai basically, I feel like Luke's power of the chorus or the power of like whatever transfers to Lorelai for a second, and she takes over. She becomes Emily Gilmore, but she couldn't be Emily Gilmore without the help of Luke being there to support her. Her mom, I don't think is part of that, but Luke being there and like closing down his diner for her. We'll get to that here in a second. That support, I think, subconsciously or unconsciously, gives Lorelai the strength to take on and step in and help her mother get through all of this and basically give Jane Lynch the ultimatum. Look, either it's my mom or me. What do you want? Jane's like, I'll go get it. I got it. I'll tap out. So even Jane Lynch, in the face of two Gilmores, Lorelai and Emily, can't handle it. Okay. And then, okay, so Rory's getting pushed and pulled. I wrote this as brilliant tension. And then our favorite town mayor or town person. He's not the mayor, I guess. Dosey is not, Dosey, whatever his name is not the mayor, but he's a town person. He shows up with the carolers.
Wanting free hot chocolate.
This whole thing, the exchange cracks me up. I know you'll pay for a song, and then you want me to give you free hot chocolate.
Yes.
Those two are like the classic kind of like foils for each other.
I just love watching them go back and forth.
Okay, so now we get to again, this show, it becomes, so I talk about show's DNA. And this show, in the age that it was made, it shared unintentionally DNA with other great shows at that time. So this moment where Lorelai gets the phone call and starts to lose it, it felt like ER DNA was in that moment, because there were moments in ER where tragedy struck and things unraveled. Yeah. And the tension and the pace just would kick off.
This took me back to years ago, our first year here, when you told me that I was going to have to take you to the ER, and I started to do this. I started to panic, and you almost yelled at me, and you're like, I need you to hold it together, because you needed me to drive you to the hospital. And it was like, okay.
Yep. And that's the thing is that Luke, he doesn't shut Lorelai down right away.
No.
He lets her emote. He lets her kind of spin a little bit. And I think that's key, because he doesn't just suddenly go, oh, what? No, calm down. It's, oh, okay. And as she begins to spin further and unload further, he goes, okay. And she's like, how do I get there? What cab number? What's going on? And it just, it feels like the train has like put on rocket engines and is screaming down the tracks.
And she's misfiring too.
Right. And it's going crazy. And then Luke, again, to your point, Silvana, he's the guy who says, okay, I'll take you. And she's like, but the food. And he's like, watch this. Everyone, we're closed. Your meal's paid for. Get out. And then he does the thing that I forgot about until just now. He tells Dosey, was it Dosey or Deucey? Dosey. I don't care. Whatever.
Like the cookie Dosey.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get it. We're gonna be in season 7 and be like, whatever.
Dosey. I'm trying to get in your head.
Don't care. Anyway,
come on, Luke.
That's my unsolved mysteries element of Luke, that he would just switch calling Dosey and Dosey throughout the show now, and he would just do it.
This is my Lorelai going Dosey.
Yeah, it would be again. I think that would be a brilliant addition. It would be fun, but again, we can't do too much meta. Anyway, so he turns to Dosey and says, "Get your hot chocolate and then close up." What?
I missed that part.
Just happened. Like, Luke just gave the keys, and apparently Dosey has a key to his place, or can lock up behind him, which is a revelation that boggled my mind when I was like, what?
Well, why? We live in a small town.
Yeah.
But think about our church and the debacle of like, oh, we're not sure who has a key to this place.
Yeah. So maybe Dosey does. Anyway, I love that moment because it speaks to Luke's care for Lorelai. And they are on their way.
He trusts his place to
Yep.
Taylor of all people.
Yep. I said Luke brings the heat. That's the man. I also said that I like how we don't see Grandpa's incident, but we have hints of it without being outright, and that gives Lorelai's discovery and freak out powerful and have weight, because not only is she freaking out, and Silvana's role kind of turned to you, what does that do to the audience? Where's their head game at right now? Because they've just been served an absolute swerve that they weren't expecting and didn't know was coming.
I feel like the audience energy matches Lorelai. You know, like she has really limited information. Like you said, we did not watch Grandpa actually have anything. It's just the heat and then the collapse, you know? So like I think she is like the vehicle for emotion that the audience is meant to be feeling. She is what is driving the fear and the anxiety. I mean, she's in the car yelling at him, you're getting psychic visions while you're driving 20 miles an hour in the oldest truck known to man. You know, like she is that push forward. She's continuing to raise the tension.
Yep. I'm trying to see if there's a promo for this episode, and I don't see it. There's season 1 promos, and then there's forgiveness and stuff, but there's no like actual like what would have been promoted before the episode aired, like on tonight, on next time, on this week's Gilmore Girls. I don't know if they previewed.
Maybe they didn't on purpose.
Maybe they previewed the possible death of Richard. I don't know. I'll have to see what I can find. Okay.
Yeah, outwardly angry.
Nope, that's not what I wanted. Okay. Where are we at?
They're in the car driving. Luke's driving too slow, and then they talk about like how Lorelai's dad did all the right things. All he wanted was for her to be the kind of daughter that wears white dresses and goes to cotillion. So like she's rethinking her entire life with her father.
Yeah. And it's hard. It's hard and intense. Okay.
And he actually speeds up.
Yeah, he does. He says, "Oh, we're gonna get that Camaro," and I was like, "Oh, Luke speeds for her," Because again, Luke is an old man. He doesn't want to speed. Doesn't want to break laws.
Vicki reminds me of you in this part. You're
Yeah,
driving carefully on ice and stuff.
There's a little of Luke in me, and I admit that. Okay, once we get, obviously we spoiled the surprise from a 20-year-old show. Jane Lynch is the nurse.
Mm-hmm.
I love it so much. And Emily is as Emily can be today.
I don't
You're
care
not
about
going
the
to get to
forms.
see
I
your
wanna see
husband
my husband
until you
Yeah.
fill out this stuff. Man,
Yeah.
that's just how hospitals work.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you have to figure
Yeah,
that
but
Emily
doesn't work on the same rules as everybody else.
right,
No,
and
it's true.
we don't get a lot of history if they've ever been in the hospital before like this.
Yeah.
This is probably the first time that Emily has ever
Yeah.
had to be.
And she's on her own. Like when you were hospitalized, I called my mom and she was like, "Okay, grab this,
yeah.
grab this. You know, here's some things you need."
Yep.
She actually said, "Don't let those doctors boss you around." And we talked about that later, and we're like, we're going to ignore that advice.
Yeah. Yep. And so Emily is losing it, her control. So here's what I love about this. Emily's version of control is attempting to control the situation. Jane Lynch isn't letting her control her situation.
No.
And so that infuriates Emily even more. Emily takes the rare step of calling her daughter's home, which also mildly annoying.
She has a cell phone.
I don't think Emily has that number. Because she calls the Independence Inn and she calls the house. I just realized that. I don't think, as far as we are now in the show, and it may change in future episodes, Emily has never called her cell phone. That's a revelation.
Wow. Her mom does not have her phone number.
Her cell. She has her business and her home, which is never cell.
Wild.
At least as far as we know right now. We haven't seen it
Yes.
happen. Because she always calls the Independence Inn or she calls the house and leaves a message.
Yeah.
She never calls her on her cell.
And she doesn't leave a message at the house.
No. Usually she will, but this time she's so frustrated and just losing it. That's an interesting dynamic I hadn't thought about before now. Until just now, I was like, oh, I wonder if we see that change. We'll have to see. That'll be fun.
No.
The Miss Gilmore. I'm Mrs. Gilmore.
Oh, my gosh.
All right, Silvana, I'm going to turn to you for the next moment. So Lorelai and Luke get to the building, and they're lost. What happens next?
She can hear her mother from afar. Considering her mother is like referencing like old school torture and death. Like, are there bamboo shoots involved? Is this punishment you're gonna give me if I don't fill out the forms? Some sort of deep dark hole, rats nibbling my toes. And
Wait, doesn't she have like previous experience in like a turkey or something? Emily Gilmore? I'm trying to remember from previous episodes.
I don't remember.
Oh, I have no idea.
I don't know.
But like, that's all it takes. She just needs to hear her.
Yeah.
And that's Emily.
Yep.
You insensitive paper peddler. His portrait is hanging in the lobby. Go look. It's right above the sign that says founder.
I love Emily Gilmore. I know she can be a mean lady. She can be rough. She can be tumble. But, oh, man. Kelly Bishop
funny.
is absolutely the Emily Gilmore for life. Like, that is just, that is, there you go. And then Lorelai referees. I think again she takes some power from Luke to do this. So she referees, she handles the chaos, and I love this because Lorelai is just a pretty simple girl, but she goes and their mom's like, well, we went through those doors, and she's like, okay, well, let's go. And she goes, and her mom goes, I didn't know you could do that.
And in my head, I'm like, you can't.
No, you shouldn't be able to.
Can't do that.
But here in Stars Hollow, the hospitals, there's no
Get away with it,
security.
apparently.
No security. There's no.
Oh my
There's no
gosh.
badge readers on the doors
They
yet.
can't hold her back. Her husband has a portrait on the wall, and they are just paper peddlers.
Oh my goodness! And then we get. So I love this show so much. I know I've said this so many times. I'm not going to stop saying it. But then we get Rory with Luke,
Yeah.
and that just this. We just had the frantic Emily and Lorelai situation. We got that pressure released. Now we need some downtime. And
Yes.
Rory went and got papers for her grandfather. And I don't know if it impacted you guys. I mean, this episode is full of emotional moments and lines. But Luke, who has endured his own losses and has probably wrestled with grief on his own in his own way, because he probably had nobody else to wrestle with it, so he had to do it on his own, maybe a buddy or two. The line where she's like, Rory's worried or whatever, And she's like, I don't think I'll be able to tell him I love him. And he's like, you know what? Tell him that when you see him. And that moment, that little share with her is like Luke's being like, you'll see him. You'll see him again. Like, this is going to be okay.
Yeah. He's that comforting, calm influence.
Yeah.
Yes. And it works. It definitely works. And then Rory and Lorelai do some repair work with each other. I'll just skip over that. Here's what I love. I love Luke and Lorelai. So she says, you always look good. And he gives her this look. And she's like, no, you always look healthy. The flirtation, the chemistry between these two actors.
I love it so much.
Oh, it's so
good.
And it's like the facial expressions and the positioning and the blocking and the expression, it's cinema. It's absolute cinema. And it's just, you just sit there and you go, we are watching incredible television. We were treated to the Gilmore Girls season 1, episode 10. That exists in this world.
Yep.
What? How did we get this lucky? Well, we can blame the Paladinos for their creative minds in the episode seasons 1 through 6 that they created, and the season 7 that they didn't. Okay, Lorelai doesn't want to go into that room.
It took me a minute to figure out why.
Yeah.
I was like, what is her deal? Does she just need a second by herself? And I think it was Luke said something, and it's like, oh yeah, she's not ready to be around these people.
Yeah.
Together.
So what? I guess, Silvana, why do you think Lorelai is refusing? And it's not even refusal. Like, she can't physically go in that room.
I mean, in my opinion, it's from like not wanting to see your loved one like that.
Yeah.
Because it's hard. It's hard to see someone you love dearly, even if you're fighting with your mom and it's your dad in the hospital.
Yeah.
It's hard to see him in hospital clothes with stuff hooked up to him left, right, and center.
Yeah. Yeah, and Luke doesn't give up on her. He keeps pushing her. He's like, you're going to do it, you're going to do it. And then Rory gets in to talk to Richard, and she said, if I give you a hug, will it hurt? And Richard's line, again, cinema.
Yeah.
Pain is a part of life. This man, Richard Gilmore, his story, like his history, his mythology, there is so much to this man, and we get pieces of it, but that's his response, that pain is a part of life, is just, and it hits you because you understand that.
Yeah.
At a human level, we've all experienced it. We've all been there. This show reaches out to you and hits those parts of your heart that you know and you've lived, or that you've seen lived. And cinema, I tell you what. Rory comes out and Luke is still there. And she's like, you're still here? And he's like, yep. Staring at your shoes. Yep. Okay, carry on. Is it before this?
He can't stand being in the hospital.
Right.
See,
And
he keeps there's
a guy with a screwdriver in his head or
Right.
something. He's like, really?
Every time he looks around, he sees it.
And then you have the scene with Richard and Emily where he's trying to prepare her.
Goodness.
That scene always makes me cry.
I cried too.
First, like, really genuine, like, emotion from Emily that just like kicks you in the gut because like everybody can relate to like, no, I do not want to let go of the person I love, you know?
Yeah.
And her just like absolute denial, like, I didn't sign on for you to die here, so it's not happening.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty wild. Her statement, I demand to go first. Spoiler alert, she doesn't.
No.
Nope.
Because the season's continuation that happened on Netflix, the actor had passed
away.
And so we didn't get Richard Gilmore in the new. We got his figure. We got, and I think
his memory.
Yeah, we got Emily Gilmore really roughing it, and we'll get to that at some point down the road.
Yeah.
But I don't think obviously the writers intended for that to have any impact. Like they probably thought, okay, well, we'll do the season, that'll be the end of it. You know, we won't revisit this. But we do as reboots go, we revisit everything. I agree with you, Silvana, that we see Emily feeling for once. We really see the weight.
And it's not anger; it's like sadness, fear, and grief. Because I feel like a lot of the emotions we see from Emily are like anger, dismissiveness. This is emotions that like go above and beyond her like snootiness. This is grief and fear and love.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we get Emily and we get Rory and Lorelai.
Talking about narcolepsy boy.
Yep. Major panic factor. I'm so sorry. Don't swear. She's like, why? She's like, you're my daughter. She's like, okay, well, I'm still not going to let it happen again. We get the resolution, but what's funny is she's like, oh, Mom, there weren't any apple tarts. She didn't make them this year. And she's like, is that a lie? She's like, yeah, they're really good.
Yep.
So again, we still have her missing out on it. And then this whole episode is like brilliant scenes one after another.
Yes.
We get Emily and Luke. And
holding his tie and talking.
Yeah. I said the writers knew what they were doing this entire episode. Aside from the small things that would trim the fat, but they probably exist so that the rest of this episode can finish in time.
And her seeing that Luke has feelings for her. They have feelings for each other.
Well, we haven't gotten there yet. He says, I kept my father's entire store as he left it. And then Emily Gilmore says he's a very good man. He always did the right thing for his family. So she obviously feels for him and all that. But then, you're right.
It's the same thing Lorelai said.
Yeah.
He did exactly what he was supposed to. He took care of me, took care of my mom, he took care of his family.
Yep. Yeah. Richard Gilmore and Edward Herrmann, by extension the actor, played that character masterfully. Like, there is no greater... I mean, the man played FDR in movies. Like, Richard Herrmann was an audiobook. He narrated audiobooks, hundreds of them, I think. Incredible voice.
Yeah.
And then Emily asks the question, and he says, "Oh, we're just friends." And then she says, "You're idiots."
You're idiots.
Both of you.
Both of you.
And then Lorelai walks out.
Yep.
What are you guys talking about? Your mom just called me an idiot.
And then Emily takes Rory, and Luke says, "So what are you going to do?" Luke tells her to go in, but Luke does not go in.
Yeah.
Yes, lets her have that moment.
Okay. This is the moment. Out of all of the scenes, out of all of the things in this episode, this is it for me. This is the Academy Award-winning moment. This, I want to say like 10 to 15 seconds, not even 15 seconds.
Yeah.
It's a very brief time.
Oh, yeah.
Lorelai steps in. Her dad's asleep or out, kind of passed out or not awake. He hears, kind of senses her, opens his eyes, and the look that these two share.
Oh, it made me
so much. So I'm talking about it. I feel that part of my throat. Like, there is so much context in that little 5 to 7 second glance.
Oh,
and the show doesn't over dramatize it. It doesn't throw in like some crazy musical number to make it feel better or feel worse or to accentuate it. It holds. This show grips you by the neck and says, "No, you're gonna feel, and I'm gonna make you feel." And now here's the other thing: it earns this moment.
Yes.
We've had 9 episodes worth of pulling together a story and a history, and here in this moment, we finally have a better understanding of the love that Lorelai and Richard have for each other as father and daughter.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it only took 5 to 7 seconds.
Yep.
As
no
this,
words.
Yeah.
Just looks.
Just looks. And Lauren Graham's and Edward Herrmann's incredible acting. You just go, "Oh, I felt something." This is okay. Somebody got to tap out. Like, I gotta, like, you just have that. And it won't stop.
Yeah.
Right? You can't. And eventually, because they're brilliant writers, they bring in everybody else. But here's the thing: when everyone starts coming in the room, that look holds for longer. The world around them is happening. The people
I didn't
are coming in the
realize
room.
that.
Yeah. Richard keeps his eyes on her, and she keeps her eyes on Richard. As everyone comes in, and then she steps out as everyone kind of can, and then Richard kind of faces back into the present time with everybody else. But that, I would argue, is probably like 10 seconds that holds.
Sure.
And you can see Edward Herrmann as the actor working to help us understand how he feels about his daughter and the fact that he almost could have died and his daughter would have left without him. And like, there's just all this context, right? That's not stated, not written, not closed captioned. Silvana, I've talked a lot about this, but why does this work so well?
Because the acting is phenomenal, because they've been building up context, like you said, for this relationship for 10 episodes now. It works so well because It's emotions you can empathize with. It's had perfect setup, and the acting is just amazing. I mean, this is maybe one of the moments in the show that feels like the most painfully real and genuine to me. In like a good way. I'm not saying like the rest of the show is unreal, but like that emotion is so empathizable that it's impossible not to just be so wrapped up in it in the same way that they are wrapped up in that look between the two of them.
Yep. I just and so she goes out and she's like crying. Obviously, the emotions have spilled over. She can no longer contain them.
Yeah.
Luke does not have a handkerchief for her.
Nope.
Because he finds a practice.
Oh, that scene is so cute and so funny.
Yeah.
He's just like it's kind of the idea. Handkerchiefs gross me out anyway.
Yeah.
Fair. I don't want a piece of cloth with boogers in my pockets either.
Right.
No.
So
get a clean tissue.
He does hug her a little bit gently.
Yeah.
She leans on him and then she's okay.
She cries on his shirt.
Yeah, she does. And then he's like, hey, you take Rory home. Da, 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 da. So Emily comes out and she's like, where? Oh, I told him to take Rory home.
Oh, I want to go to when Rory starts walking with Luke and Luke says to her really quietly, walk.
Okay.
Go fast.
Look straight forward.
Straight forward. So that Lorelai can have this moment with her mom.
Oh, I missed that
Oh
part.
no, I thought it was because
and Roy
he
just
didn't
gets
want
this
to
look
see,
like, why?
Hospital people walk by. I thought
I
didn't see people like
I
being
didn't think about
like,
it that way.
Oh yeah, no, keep your head down. Don't look around. There's a guy in the wheelchair. Like I think.
Oh, was that the screwdriver thing at this point, or something?
That was further back.
Okay.
He'd already said that. I think he was just trying to avoid seeing.
Just
people in the
keep your eyes.
Oh, I
forward.
thought he was doing that for Lorelai's sake.
No, his tone was too unserious. It was very much like, keep your head down. We gotta go.
Right, we gotta go. Okay, so here's something that I didn't think about until I sat back and thought about it. So she says, I thought I'd stick around. Somebody might need something. And her mother's like, oh my goodness. But here's what happens. And what I love about it, and it's not played for drama. It's not, they don't make a big deal about it. But Emily invites her to dinner at the hospital.
So there is there's a deleted
cafeteria.
scene in the DVD set apparently of them actually eating together, and it says Lorelai starts laughing and remarks that Emily just couldn't let her out of Friday night dinner.
I would have liked to have seen that.
We have the
That
DVD
would have been
set. We
worth it.
probably could.
Well, and here's the thing. Again, I was talking about trimming the fat. Some of those previous scenes could have been eliminated to get that goodness in there. But
Even if it was just such a short scene, it would have been worth it.
Yeah.
Because then Emily Gilmore would have been just like, must you always be so sassy or sarcastic? And Lorelai would have been like, Mom, you're my mother. I'm your daughter. This is how this works.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's our alternate universe ending. But I love that it's. I know there's a deleted scene, but I love the simplicity of as a viewer, as a watcher, going, oh, this is the dinner loop. We're closing the dinner loop. It's not going to say. It's not going to hang out. They're going to have dinner at the hospital. This is their Christmas dinner at the hospital. Oh my gosh, this works. This works.
Yep. No tarts, but that's okay.
Yeah, but again,
They've made up officially. You can tell.
well, they've made up as much as they can because the relationship between Emily Gilmore and Lorelai Gilmore continues throughout the entire series to be a challenging piece. And then we get to the end of the episode, and we're back at the diner with Luke and Lorelai.
Lorelai gets him.
She got him a new hat.
So he wears this hat for most of the rest of the series.
Yep.
That hat.
Yep.
Aw.
Well, and
I didn't realize that.
again, the writers were probably like, okay, we need to have a signal or a symbol of Lorelai's care for Luke, or that
And
there's-
Luke's more of his care for her.
and then he is accepting the gift, so she's giving him something. Because, and keep in mind, remember the first part of this episode was discussions of appropriate gifts. And Lane says, "I gave this to my mother, thinking she'd love it." But then she said, "Then my mom sent me to a Seventh-day Adventist
Bible camp.
camp for a month,
all summer long.
all summer long." So the appropriateness of gifts is discussed, I think, intentionally. Actually, I know it's probably intentional. So that when we see Lorelai give a hat to Luke, that's the resolution of that conversation, because Lorelai understands Luke. She knows he loves hats. She knows, and she feels like she owes him something for all the work he did today. And Luke's not a gift guy. He doesn't want to get paid back for the gas. He's not going to care about that. But a hat.
No, but he'll wear the hat.
Yeah, he'll wear the hat because, hey, that means something. Luke's a physical guy. Like, things that he wears represents things. Like the fact that he kept his dad's store walls the same way when he opened his diner. He cares what things say about him and what that symbolizes. He's not materialistic, but things that he wears. And so the fact that
Sentimental? Would you call him sentimental?
Yeah, absolutely sentimental. I think that's the right word.
Like begrudgingly sentimental.
Yes, he doesn't want to admit it, but he really is. He really is deeply
He's
sentimental.
not overly sentimental.
No. Well, I think if you got to sit down with him and if there was a deeper conversation and eventually he let his guard down, that would take probably months to get to that point with Luke because he's very guarded.
I'm pretty sentimental. To the point that if a little kid gives me a pebble, I'll keep it for a little while. I won't keep it forever, but I'm like, they gave me a gift.
Aw.
I don't care if it's a pebble from recess.
It's still a gift.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, and then turn the lights out to watch the procession, and then this is my favorite ending to an episode so far. I know I keep saying all these things are my favorite. She says, "Oh, it looks good on you," and he turns and says, "Good how?"
Good how?
She says, "Just watch the procession." Again, it's simple dialogue, right? But it's so on. It's
effective.
It calls back to the previous where he complimented her, or no, she complimented her.
Yeah, she told him he didn't look good, and he usually looks very good.
And he's like, "You always look good." She's
And
like,
she's like,
"How?"
you look healthy. You don't look healthy right now.
I love it.
Is he turning green or white? Like, you mean?
Just so good. And so just watch the procession, and that's how the episode ends. 10 out of 10. No, I don't even need to think about
10
it.
out of 10 what?
10,
Agreed.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 bell ringers.
Give them some sheet music.
With who's the guy? Hold on, the guy. I wrote down his name. The guy that they yell at because he's an idiot.
Another guy I can't remember to ring on 3. That one.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
trying to find it here. Hold on.
It's got too much panic to keep track
Mine
of
is
details.
a 10 out of 10 detached baby Jesus arms.
10 out of 10 Santa burgers.
Okay.
Yes.
His name was Henry. So 10 Henrys. 10 Henry bell ringers. All on the wrong
Here's
beat.
some sheet music, dude. I know you're nervous.
I'll take Henry. Henry
Things
seems,
I would do if I was the music director in that scene.
Right. There you go.
It's like the definition of insanity is repeating the same thing
Over and over and over again.
And it's like if it's not working, change it up.
Yeah. So there you go. There is Gilmore Girls episode 10 of Gilmore Girls season 1.
Forgiveness and stuff.
Forgiveness and stuff. Man, it's so funny. Like you watch again. I've talked about this. It's such good stuff.
Yeah.
It
like
is.
every piece of this is just like what, like you feel like I can think about the stuff that we've watched so far, and not without too much trouble. Think about the moments in the episodes that we've watched and how just strong they are and how compelling they are. I couldn't tell you what happened in Lock and Key because it's all just ugh. So there you go. Anything else you want to share about Gilmore Girls or things before we close out this episode?
No, I feel like it's pretty complete.
All right, well, there we go. All right, well, we'll be back with you in 2 weeks for another episode of the Gilmore Geeks. We'll see if we go to more regular episodes, depending on how schedules work out.
Yeah.
Until the next one, my name is Aaron.
I'm Vicki.
And Silvana.
And we'll see you in 2 weeks. Here goes our intro. No, outro is the right word for that. Good Lord.
Tomato, tomato.
The raspberry flapovers will be out in a moment. The kitchen is closed.